stone the woman. If a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, and a man find her in the city, and lie with her, Deuteronomy 22:22. Then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die, the damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you. Deuteronomy 22:24. Comment. Read also Deuteronomy 22:13-21. The discovery of a bride lying with another man can yield disastrous results. If the wife's parents can produce tokens of the damsel's virginity and spread the cloth before the elders of the city, the husband has to pay the bride's father 100 silver shekels, and he may not send his wife back to her parents as long as she lives. But if the bride's virginity does not satisfy the requirements, the husband can get rid of her by letting the men of the city stone her to death. From a practical level, these designed laws regulating women's virginity protected economic transactions between men rather than for the sake of morality. See Virgin's worth below. Virgin mistranslation. Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign, behold, a virgin shall conceive, and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Isaiah 7:14. Comment. Perhaps the most famous mistranslation of the Bible, the word virgin here comes from a mistranslated Greek word for virgin. The original Hebrew version uses the word almah, which means young woman, which may or may not refer to a virgin. Of course, the context of the original Hebrew Isaiah does not refer to a virgin at all, as scholars the world over agree, but only refers to a young woman. Later, the author of Matthew 1:22-23 quoted from the mistranslated Isaiah version, and thus the error turned into a worldwide belief. Today, a few of the modern Bibles, such as the Revised Standard Version, have corrected this mistranslation and have replaced the word virgin with young woman. Isaiah 7:14 RSV. Apparently, either God makes errors or the Bible does not come from God, but rather from fallible men. Virgin's worth. If a man find a damsel that is a virgin, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her, and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silvers, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her, he may not put her away all his days. Deuteronomy 22:28-29. Comment. The belief some get about the biblical law leads them to think that it represented a great advancement in morality. However, if we look at this law in the social and economic context, it becomes evident that it did not come from any moral ground, but rather to protect men's property rights of their wives and daughters. This law says that, since an unmarried girl, a non-virgin, no longer serves as an economically valuable asset, her father must receive compensation. As for the legal requirement of the man that caused the economic problem, his marriage in that society gave him practically unlimited power over their wives. Such forced marriage can hardly serve as a concern for the poor girl's welfare. Wives, submit yourselves. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as unto the Lord. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the Savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. Ephesians 5:22-24. Comment. These words of Paul describe another instance for the calling of the submission of women to their husbands. Note that the all-inclusive everything could allow husbands to submit their wives to anything, including rape, beatings, slavery, etc. See also I Cor 11:312, I Cor 14:34-36, I Timothy 2:8-15, I Peter 3:17, Colonel 3:18-19. Women shall not speak. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. I Corinthians 14:34-35. Comment. If one ever wishes to find an explanation of woman's inferiority to men, one only has to look in the Bible. Paul makes clear and delineates the importance of woman recognizing her place, ad nauseam. See also I Cor 11:312, I Timothy 2:815, I Peter 3:17, Ephesians 5:22-24, Colonel 3:18-19. The Bible teaches that women brought sin and death into the world, that she precipitated the fall of the race, that she was arraigned before the judgment seat of heaven, tried, condemned and sentenced. Marriage for her was to be a condition of bondage, maternity a period suffering and anguish, and in silence and subjection, she was to play the role of a dependent on man's bounty for all her material wants, and for all the information she might desire. Here is the Bible position of woman briefly summed up. Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Women's sorrow. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Genesis 3:16. Comment. Not only does the woman get blamed for the fall, but God decides to multiply her sorrow, plus, she must submit to her husband like a slave. Religionists have used this verse as justification and reason for the pain and punishment, sin, of childbirth and the sin of mankind. And to this day many Christians, Jews and Islamics place women lower than men in the ranking of godly order. If ever there existed a more cruel justification against women, it could not have done as much damage as from belief in Genesis 3:16. Because of the belief in the fall, countless Christians have branded the entire human race as depraved. Before the advent of male-dominated religions, cultures around the world respected women and worshipped goddesses. The Old Testament records the brutal slaughter of surrounding cultures, and slowly throughout the centuries, the goddess religions faded away in place of the belief system of a jealous, scatological, male war god. Christianity teaches that the human race is depraved, fallen, and sinful. D. James Kennedy, Why I Believe, World Publishing, 1980. Rip up pregnant women. Samaria shall become desolate, for she hath rebelled against her God. They shall fall by the sword, their infants shall be dashed in pieces, and their women with child shall be ripped up. Hosea 13:16. Comment. Throughout the Bible, God smites those who do not believe in Him or those who do not follow His commands. Here we have the grotesque description of infants dashed to pieces and pregnant women ripped up. Whatever rebellious nature an infant's father or mother may have had, it bears no justice to an innocent child or to an unborn fetus who could not possibly have rebelled against God, much less understood Him. Anyone who claims to love such a God must accept infanticide as one of God's ugly revenges. See also Psalms 1379. The wicked woman. Give me any plague, but the plague of the heart, and any wickedness, but the wickedness of a woman. Eccles 25:13. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Eccles 25:22. If she go not, as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh, and give her a bill of divorce, and let her go. Eccles 25:26. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Eccles 26:9-10. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Lord, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. Eccles 26:14-15. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Lord. Eccles 26:25. For from garments cometh the moth, and from women wickedness. Better is the churlishness of a man than a courteous woman, a woman, I say, which bringeth shame and reproach. Eccles 42:13-14. Comment. Ecclesiasticus of the Apocrypha does not appear in most Bibles. However, in Catholic Bibles, the inferiority of woman still appears in the verses of Ecclesiasticus. These verses give only a sampling from this book that lowers the status of women.